All right, I want to bring to order the May 23rd, 2017 regularly scheduled board meeting for the Richland 2 Board of Trustees. We are returning from executive session where we discussed the items that were mentioned in the motion to go into executive session. If I can now have our inspirational moment, Dr. Elkins Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the inspirational moment will be given by Dr. Marsha Mosley, who is the Director of Middle Level Instruction. And just want to say a few words about Dr. Mosley. I had the opportunity to interact with her when I was Assistant Principal at Rice Creek, and I tell you, she is one of the most professional, compassionate, and caring leaders I've met in such a long time. So I appreciate her support and her leadership and what she do for our teachers here in Richland 2 to make us look better and our students succeed. Following Dr. Marsha Mosley will be the Spring Valley High School Air Force Junior ROTC presenting the colors. Thank you, Dr. Mosley.
I appreciate your kind words. Over the past 20 years of my career, I've tried to be mindful of those individuals who've been put in my path that I'm supposed to help. Often it's quite obvious, a 13-year-old homeless little girl on the side of the street in Columbia, a golden retriever in the middle of the road, but often I'm not as able to discern, as was the case with the 5-year-old kindergarten student who was in a volatile family situation and intervention was necessary. When I was in my classroom the last day of school, I used to give my 8th graders, is he not coming in? Thank you. I used to give my 8th graders this poem by Nixon Waterman with the challenge that as they entered what may well be the most memorable years of their lives, high school and college, to remember each day to extend the hand of kindness to someone who may be in need. I'd like to share this poem with you. It's entitled, What Have We Done Today? And it's by Nixon Waterman. We shall do much in the years to come, but what have we done today? We shall give our gold a princely sum, but what did we give today? We shall lift the heart and dry the tear. We shall plant a seed in the place of fear. We shall speak the words of love and cheer, but what did we speak today? We shall be so kind in the afterwhile, but what have we been today? We shall bring to each lonely life a smile, but what have we brought today? We shall give to truth a grander birth, and to steadfast faith a deeper worth. We shall feed the hungering souls of earth, but whom have we fed today? We shall reap such joys in the by and by, but what have we sown today? We shall build us mansions in the sky, but what did we build today? 'Tis sweet the idle dreams to bask, but here and now do we our task? Yet this is the thing our souls must ask, what have we done today? Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would stand for the presentation of the colors.
Colors, left turn, march. Colors, halt. Carry, colors. Praise it, colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, colors. Mark time, march. Colors, right turn, march. Forward, march.
And we definitely want to thank our Spring Valley JROTC for the presentation of the flags tonight. Our ROTC programs are an integral part of our school district, and we appreciate what they do for us, and particularly when they're able to do some of their more formal duties like presenting the colors and the flags at our program. So thank you to them for being here tonight. If I can have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
I move approval.
Move approval by Mr. Plank. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Caution Parker. Is there any discussion? And I think, was there an item that we were going to table tonight?
Mr. Chair, I move that we table the item pertaining to charter schools tonight, which is the number?
11.1.
11.1. I
Okay.
move that we table that until the next board meeting.
So the friendly amendment is accepting a motion to approve the agenda with tabling item 11.1.
So moved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, we have our special recognitions. Dr. Ham.
This is such a wonderful time of year because we get to celebrate so many accomplishments of our students and faculty. So once again, we have a large number of students and faculty recognized tonight. What a great thing to do.
Thank you, Dr. Ham. Board, thank you for this opportunity. I know this time of year when I come up at every board meeting, you probably get tired of seeing me, but you know it's for a good reason, so I appreciate it.
We haven't gotten tired of you yet.
The first award we recognize is a name that we've heard a lot this year and several years, and that is Jenning Chin from Spring Valley High School. But unfortunately, Jenning, as you might not be surprised, couldn't be with us tonight, and we're pretty sure she's going to be busy for her entire summer before she goes off to Stanford. So we're going to ask her principal, where? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought she was going to Stanford. She's now going to MIT. Mr. Jeff Timoni to come forward and accept her certificate. Jenning has been named a 2017 U.S. Presidential Scholar. She is one of 161 outstanding American high school seniors who have demonstrated outstanding academic achievement, artistic excellence, leadership, citizenship, service, and contribution to school and community. Created in 1964, the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program has honored more than 7,000 of the nation's top performing students with this presidential award. Each presidential scholar has been offered the opportunity to name his or her most influential teacher, and the distinguished teacher is honored with a personal letter from the Secretary of Education. Jenning selected Dr. Michelle Wyatt, the director of the magnet programs at Spring Valley. Dr. Wyatt could not join us as well, but they are both going to receive an all-expense-paid trip to the nation's capital in June as part of the recognition program. Jenning, just so you know, besides this, made a perfect score. We've said this a million times, but it's worth saying a million more. A perfect score on the AP Calculus BC exam, one of 11 in the nation, and the only female in the world to do that. I just love saying that. I will probably say that forever. Also, it is worth mentioning that Richland School District 2 had the most presidential scholar finalists. You have to apply, and then you're actually, from the group of applicants, they name finalists, which is a great accomplishment in and of itself. We had 4. That was the most of any high school in the state, more than the governor's school, more than private schools. Richland, too, had the most finalists in the state of South Carolina. So, kudos to Our next awardees are a lively and talented bunch of young ladies from Ridgeview High School who have had a busy day today. They've been at the State House where they were recognized last week. They were on WIS TV. Please come forward as I call your name. Vidal Carter, Jacayla Cornish, Portia Daniels, Otiana Thompson, and Caitlin Wilson, along with their AP World History teacher, Peggy Futrill, Principal Dr. Brenda Mack Foxworth, and Assistant Principal Wendy Campbell is also here. Wendy, would you like to come forward? These Ridgeview sophomores came in first place at the South Carolina National History Day competition in the area of performance. Their piece focused around the revolutionary struggle of Zimbabwe, and they tell the powerful story of perseverance through dance and spoken word. National History Day is a year-long academic program focused on historical research, interpretation, and creative expression for 6th through 12th grade. By participating in NHD, students become writers, filmmakers, web designers, playwrights, and artists as they create unique, contemporary expressions. The group, actually it was not WIS, it was WLTX, forgive me. And Shelley has all this in the script. I don't know why I get ahead of myself. They were honored today at the State House, and they are trying to raise funds to attend the Nationals. They have a GoFundMe page, is that correct? There we go, see, I got that right. So go check that out, and let's help them get to Maryland so they compete in the Nationals, and congratulations and good luck. Blythewood High School also had success at the South Carolina National History Day with a first place finish. Will Matthew Owens please come forward, along with your teacher Scott Ospelmeyer and Principal Dr. Brenda Hafner. Matthew won first place in the category of paper, which involves the creation of an original research paper of more than 2,300 words in length with more than 50 sources used in the paper. My word. Whew. His paper was about B.R. Ambedkar. Ambedkar? Don't even, and ending the caste system in India. Last month, he won the Midlands competition and competed against 250 other regional winners. He's now qualified for the national competition next month. This award makes the third year in a row that Blythewood has had both the first and second place winners. And I wonder why they've been so successful. Mr. Osweiler, do you know why? I do. That's because of you, who has received at this year's competition, received the very first South Carolina History Day Teachers Award. This award is named for Dr. Ron Engel, a former president of Coastal Carolina, which sponsors the National History Day competition in South Carolina. The award is intended to recognize the hard work of an educator who helps promote the National History Day program and involves his or her students in the competition. Ospelmeyer has taught at Blythewood since it opened in the fall of 2005 and is the lead teacher for the Honors Forum and teaches AP European History, Honors World History, and Honors Advanced Seminar. Well, you must do it very well to have first and second place winners 3 years in a row. Congratulations to both of you. Dr. Hafner, we're going to ask you to stay up front, and we'll ask your chorus teacher, Kristen Claiborne, to come up front as well. And I have to say, I'm kind of sad this year because I haven't had a chance to hear Ms. Claiborne's students sing. And if you've ever get the opportunity to hear them sing, don't miss it. We're honoring one of her students tonight, and she had an emergency and couldn't be here. But Catherine Kimbrough is a senior soprano, and she's been selected for the 2017 National American Choral Directors Association Senior Honor Choir, which is for 10th and 12th through 12th graders. Of the 3,000 sopranos who auditioned, 40 were selected, and Catherine is only one of 3 in South Carolina selected. Members of the choir are invited to perform at the ACDA National Convention in March in Minneapolis. We hear every college in South Carolina has been trying to pay her to come to their school next year, but she's going to stay nearby and become a music major at USC, probably so she can stay near Miss Claiborne. So please tell her we congratulate her, and we're very excited. Thank you. Yes. We have another student who was recognized for his amazing voice. Well, Byron Lattimore from Ridgeview High School, please come forward, along with your chorus teacher, Aaron Phillips, principal, Dr. Brenda Mack-Foxworth, and we'll ask, no. Okay. You're going to stay back there and take photographs? I gotcha. Okay. Byron is another member of the National American Choral Directors Association Honor Choir. That is the middle school choir is made up of 7th through 9th graders. The audition process is difficult. Students from all over the United States recorded a passage for a musical selection for judging. Byron was chosen from 350 students. He also traveled to Minneapolis in March to perform before the ACDA's national conference. Since you were only a freshman, I'm thinking we're going to see you again here, and so you just get used to it. You'll see me, and we're looking forward to it, but congratulations on this accomplishment. Thank you. Will Jessica Grebe from Kelly Middle School please come forward, along with Inc. lead teacher Pam Bruni and principal Mark Sims. She beat y'all up there. Jessica is the state winner of the Invest Right competition, sponsored by South Carolina Economics and Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association Foundation. The writing competition is open to students who play the stock market game and provides students with the opportunity to research and learn more about how new technologies are impacting a chosen company's stock performance. The competition is judged by a national panel in New York City with one winner from each state. Wow. And you're in middle school. Huh. We are so proud that Jessica's essay is the South Carolina State winner for 2016-2017. And when this is done, you and I'll talk stock tips afterwards, okay? Congratulations. Way to go. We will call up now Dr. Dewana Smith from Richland 2's Teaching and Learning Department, along with Middle School Director Dr. Marcia Mosley and Chief Instructional Officer Nancy Gregory. Dr. Smith is about to take a trip, I believe. We're going to miss her, but we're very excited that she has been selected in the Fulbright Hayes Groups Abroad project. And as soon as school is out, she will be heading to Cameroon, Africa, for a month of learning and developing ways to connect Cameroonian and African American history, language, and culture. The 13-member curriculum development team will focus on language and area studies to build knowledge, develop international relationships, and collect materials to be used in the construction of culturally relevant curriculum for K-12 classrooms. We hope you have a great learning experience, and we can't wait to see all the wonderful things you bring back to Richland, too. I'm sure Dr. Helen Grant will be the first one to greet you at the door when you get back. Have safe travels and have a great time. Renee Gettings from Killian Elementary, come on down, along with your principal, assistant principal, I believe Marlena Gore is here standing in for Stacy Franklin. Ms. Gettings has won the 2017 LEGO Education Teacher Award. I don't think this is for the teacher who builds the best Lego set, just so you know. It's actually for what the amazing job and innovative work she's done at Killian for their robotics and engineering program. She teaches K-5 through 5th grade students as part of the Related Arts rotation under a Magnet Schools of America grant. The judging process included a thorough review of submissions by a diverse panel of educators, STEM experts, and researchers, and Mrs. Gettings came on top of the award. Congratulations, and thank you for all your work with the program. And now we have another national award winner from an amazing teacher, Mary Ann Cincinnati Wood. Please come forward. And Mr. Timoni, if you will come up front again. Mary Ann has been selected as the 2017 recipient of the Distinguished Teaching Award K through 12 from the National Council for Geographic Education. This award honors those who have made extraordinary contributions to the teaching and learning of geography in the classroom. A panel of judges agreed that she deserved national recognition for her professional dedication and skill. Ms. Cincinnati Wood, who is a National Geographic Certified Educator, will be honored in July in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Congratulations on this wonderful and well-deserved honor. We have some schools we want to recognize next for their achievements in fitness. And so we will call up two nationally award-winning schools, Keels Elementary, Principal Alvera Butler, and she has any of her award-winning team with her to please come forward. I never know if they're going to bring the whole school or she brought her assistant principals with her. Also, the other award-winning school is Ridgeview High School, Principal Dr. Brenda Mack Foxworth. I know she has Assistant Principal Wendy Campbell and Jason Street. So please come forward. Anybody else from Ridgeview High School, come on up. We want them all up there. Come on. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's a school award. So. The two schools have won the Let's Move Active Schools National Award from the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. This honor awards their outstanding efforts in creating an active school environment and is the nation's top physical education and physical activity distinction for K through 12 schools. These schools have met significant benchmarks in 5 areas: physical education, physical activity before and after school, physical activity during school, staff involvement, and family and community education. We congratulate Keels and Ridgeview High School for working hard to have healthy students, a healthy staff, and a healthy community. Thank you. And now we get to honor this great facility, and for something very innovative. R2I2 has won the Solar Champion Award for the South Carolina Solar Council. A lot of people were involved in the planning of this award and what made this possible. We have a few people representing the group. We have, and he's coming up, I will say begrudgingly, but he's coming up, Chief Operations Officer Jack Carter, Manager of Design and Construction Andy Douglas, New Design and Construction Manager Ed Watson. They are representing our building and construction side. On the student learning side, we have the R2I2 Director, Kevin Albersi, and R2I2 New Energy Teacher, Kristen Bullington. The Solar Champion Award is from, and also we have Will Anderson. He cannot be here tonight. He is in class. The Solar Champion Award is from the South Carolina Solar Council and is given to organizations for their commitment and use of renewable solar energy. R2I2 is a leader in both. The building is covered with solar panels. Not exactly covered, but they're on the roof, correct? Construction guys on the roof. That reduces our carbon footprint, and it also saves money for taxpayers. And in regard to education, Ms. Bullington teaches the next energy class at R2I2, how to design and construct non-fossil fuel to produce energy and educate students on respecting and appreciating our natural resources. If you walk around the building, you'll see other examples. We have a wind turbine, and we also have a solar tree and a what? The water, and the fuel, the refueling thing for the electric cars. It's not really hooked up, right? Yeah. We have lots of good stuff. But congratulations for making this such an environmentally friendly building. and more importantly, for teaching future generations about how we can conserve our environment and protect it. Thank you. Now, the next honoree didn't get an invitation to come to the meeting because he's always here, so he might be a little surprised, but would Board Member Jamie Shad please come forward? I mentioned to him that we were going to recognize him for this award eventually, and he probably just forgot. He was named a 2017 Palmetto State Fatherhood Champion by the Global Partners for Fathers and Families. Mr. Shad was honored at a breakfast last month. The purpose of the breakfast and the award is to recognize amazing fatherhood champions in South Carolina and to raise and award $1,000 scholarships to graduating high school male students. Studies show when fathers are actively engaged, children do better in school, the family is more financially stable, and mothers feel supported. It's a little early for Father's Day, but with your 4 beautiful daughters, I'm sure it's like Father's Day every day in the Shad household. And we know from the comments you make here in the board meeting and the support you give the schools that you truly believe in the importance of fathers and male role models in the lives of our students, and we thank you for your service. Congratulations. Several months ago, we were introduced to the Polo Road student Harmony Frederick for winning the Prudential Spirit of Community in South Carolina. And if you've seen on the internet, you know that she went to Washington. Well, tonight we have a representative from Prudential, Rosalind Glenn, is returning with even more good news for Harmony. Ms. Glenn, will you please come forward? And we're going to give you a microphone if you want to stand up front. That way you can face the crowd.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure on behalf of Ms. Harmony. I'm sure you all have heard the great work that she does and continues to do. And in honor of her work, we wanted to honor tonight her school because we believe that in addition to her family and the good works that they have done, she represents your school as well. And so we are here tonight to present on behalf of Prudential. I am a financial advisor with Prudential to the school. And I would like for Dr. Cassandra, is she here? Yes. To come forward, please. On behalf of the good work that you all do at the school, Polo Road, and in honor of Ms. Frederick, we are presenting this beautiful crystal vase to be on display at your school as the recipient of the Prudential Spirit of Community Award. Thank you for allowing us to be here, and congratulations again to you. Thank you. You're okay.
All right, well, I must say the crystal vase is probably like one of the most unique things I've ever seen given here at a board meeting, so that's really cool. And to Mr. Shad, Dad, I need some money. Thank y'all very much. I think that, again, we've heard from folks that we want to honor our academics as much as we honor our athletics. And I would love to see, I don't know, just thinking off the cuff, but if we could get some banners like our athletics out here in the lobby or something for like our Miss Chins and some of these other folks that are talented. I mean, one in the world is like, that deserves a banner, just like retiring a jersey somewhere in a gym. So that's an unfunded mandate, school district. So next we have on our agenda the legislative update, and we'll let folks kind of meander out real quick before we do that, because we are still officially in school.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Plank.
It always kind of shakes my confidence whenever it moves into the legislative update and everyone just scrambles.
You should take it as it is.
Yeah. Well, first, I want to, for those who've been following our board meetings over the last several months, know that I've been working closely with Dr. Miley and the financial world as it relates to the legislative updates we've had, and just want to let him know that our thoughts and prayers are with him as he is in Georgia handling, working through the estate issues with the passing of his sister. So just if you would keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Since our last meeting, the 122nd session has concluded, sort of, because we still have a budget that needs to be completed. And so that was scheduled for today, although from what I understand that I knew the House was not planning to meet, and then the Senate did not meet as well. So we don't really have much of an update as it relates to the appropriations. Much of the effort was given toward the roads bill to override the veto of the governor to get that completed. So at this point, we have a document up on the screen for the items that we've covered over the last several months that have been that we've just kind of kept a running list of those that have been updated, but that would be the extent of the update tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next on our agenda, we have the consent agenda. If I can have a motion. Moved by Ms. Agostini, seconded by
Second, yeah.
by Ms. Mackey. Thank you. And is there any discussion? With no discussion, we'll have the vote. Motion passes 7-0. We now have our first public participation. I have no one signed up to speak at this time, but if you'd like to do so, please come forward now. And with no one coming forward, we will move into our student appeals. If I can please have a motion.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. I'd like to, before we begin with the motions, I'd like to pull out number 3, 10, and 11. Okay, so student number 1, recommendation is Blythewood Academy with Loredak. Student 2, Blythewood Academy. Student 4, admission to the adult ed program. Student 5, Blythewood Academy. Student 6, Blythewood Academy with Loredak. Student 7, Blythewood Academy. 8, Blythewood Academy. 9, Blythewood Academy. That completes the motion at this point.
Okay, motion been made by Mr. Plank. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Mackey. Is there any discussion? With no discussion, we'll have the vote. It didn't come up for me. There it is. Did everybody vote? It came back up again.
I voted again when it came up again. Is it not registering?
All right, can we just do a hand vote? All in favor? Motion that passes unanimously. All
Mr.
right.
Chair, on student number 3, the motion is to deny the appeal.
And I want to be clear, that should be 7-0, right, for that first one? Okay, that's fine. I just want, because it's on the screen, I just wanted to clarify verbally. So motion passed 7-0 on that one.
Oh, my name is not, okay.
Yeah, that's why I wanted
So you're
to.
gonna add it to the,
Yep. I just want to put it verbally on the record too. Yep.
And so the motion for, again, I'll go with, for student number 3, deny the appeal.
Okay, motion's been made by Mr. Plank. Do I have a second? Seconded by Dr. Caution Parker. Is there any discussion? With no discussion, we'll have the vote. You want us to hand vote again? Should be, okay.
did it go through that time? Yes, okay. Thanks.
And motion passes 6-1. Mr. Plank?
Yes, for student number 10, deny the appeal.
All right, motion's been made by Mr. Plank. Do I have a second? Second. Ms. Agostini seconded. Is there any discussion? We'll have the vote at this time. Motion passes 6-1. Mr. Plank?
Yes, and student number 11, deny the appeal.
Motion been made by Mr. Plank. Do I have a second? Second. Seconded by Ms. Agostini. Is there any discussion? We'll have the vote now. Motion passes 6-1. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, Dr. Ham, new business, no action for policies.
Yeah, under new business, no action requested, we're asking for first reading of policy BC, which has to do with board member conduct, BCA, board member code of ethics, BCB, board member conflict of interest, BD, the organization of the school board, and BD-R, the organization of the board officers. Dr. Franklin is available if you have any questions or comments.
Board members?
I have questions.
Ms. Mackey?
I'll just go in order. For one of them, and I'm just asking for clarification, starting with BCB.
Can we give
we've
it,
got the family.
1 second, is it any way possible you can tell what they are, so for the folks that's viewing this, they'll know exactly what we're talking about and what the policies are that we're referring to, Dr. Ham? Is there any way you could do that?
Or I can be more specific in my questions if you'd like. Yeah,
Do-
I can
do
be
you
more
want-
specific in my questions if you like.
Let me just be clear, Dr. Oaks, do you want Dr. Ham to read them so that everybody knows all the policies, or you want us to be more clear as the question comes up about the policy?
Well, just the policies, because if someone is watching, they're not going to know what BCB is or any of those things, if you don't mind.
Okay, we'll
Yes.
have, we'll have Dr. Ham go ahead and read them, and then you can ask your questions, so.
Okay, again, BC has to do with the board member conduct. BCA has to do with the board member code of ethics. BCB has to do with board members' conflict of interest. BD has to do with the organization of the school board. And BD-R has to do with the organization of the school board and board officers.
Thank you, Dr. Ham. Ms. Mackey, sorry for the interruption, but thank you.
Yeah, no problem. With regard to policy BCB, which has to do with board member conflict of interest, I'm looking at the first few paragraphs, and the definition of family member is specified: spouse, parent, brother, sister, things of that nature. As we move on down the document, however, the definition of family member is stricken, and it's previously been there. And I'm looking at the years that it's been updated. It's been there since like '78. Is it a reason that it's stricken? Is it considered redundant, or is there a reason you don't want to include family member, like under employment of a family member? The definition of family member is not there. Is it just because you think it's redundant because you've already described it in the beginning, or for employment does it not apply to each of those?
That is correct. The definition is given in the third paragraph.
Okay.
To clarify for the duration of the policy, what is a family member and what is an immediate family member.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay, and for BC? Okay, I may not have a question there. I've written down my oh yeah, I do. Just to ask for clarification, because I know sometimes we can, the devil's in the details, for lack of a better expression. When it talks about the prohibition of irregular, and this is with regard to board member conduct. There's a prohibition of irregular or secret meetings, which are not official, or all board members don't have an opportunity to attend. Number one, I have a question. Which paragraph is that? How do we need to be more specific, or, because it's been added, do we need to be more specific or strike that? Because I know that board members, have relationships outside of this meeting, and people will meet for breakfast and things of that nature. Is this talking about the majority, all 7 board members not meeting, or the way that I read it, as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the way that I'm reading it, it's saying that board members should not have meetings or things of that nature, when I know that if people get together for lunch or something, not all 7, of course, because that's a quorum, but that happens. Is that prohibited for board members to get together for any reason outside of board meetings? And I'm not asking because it's been inserted, it wasn't there before, so I'm asking what's being prohibited here.
I think the intent is not to have meetings for the purpose of discussing items that may be agenda items for the school board, without the whole board being present.
Okay, so and maybe I'm not the only one with that concern, do we need to indicate that that's for a quorum, all 7 board members? Because people get together and have lunch all the time and things of that nature, I think, or you may see people outside of, I guess I want some more clarification with regard to that. Or if we're talking about a quorum, all 7 of us know we can't be together anywhere, meeting or discussing anything. So I guess I'm asking for the pleasure of the board, what do you all think?
Or are you talking about just 3 or 4 board members getting together, having meetings without the consent of other board members? Basically, I think that's what she's saying. For board members not to get together, 3 or 4, to discuss the plan or missions or visions of their own personal agendas without the conception of the entire board being aware of what's going on.
Yeah, but that's going to cause other potential issues, to Ms. Mackey's point. I mean, we sometimes will.
Together
Right.
or other organizations together, then this is saying that we don't need to be discussing anything that has to do with, I need to.
Mr. Chair.
Let me, Mr. Plank and Ms. Agostini, as it relates to this question, right?
Yeah, I think the clarification would be, are we talking about a quorum, meaning, and based on our definition of quorum is 5, related to a
Right.
voting. My understanding is, though, that boards could meet socially as long as the conduct of business is not discussed.
And all 7 have been invited.
Yeah, and all 7 have been invited.
If it's a social gathering.
So, I mean, to Ms. Mackey's point, do we need I would agree that clarification might be warranted there, so at least the word quorum.
So we're not looking at it, and because it's a part of policy now, so I need to know exactly what would be violating if we're ever talking, or outside of a board meeting. in the same
Let us
place.
take a look at it and see whether we think it's best to clarify it in the policy or to add some kind of regulation that goes along with it that clarifies how those things will be handled. And we'll get back to you.
Are you
and-
okay?
At least you can take a look at that for the next, at the next meeting, and we can postpone a vote on that until you've had a chance to look at it.
Could I also ask the term irregular, because, sometimes we have like special call meetings or those kind of things. I mean, could that technically be counted as irregular if every board member couldn't be here because of some special call meeting? I just want to make sure I think Ms. Mackey is correct that could really improperly hinder some things. I think that needs to be looked at as well.
Okay, thank you.
And just for the first paragraph. For the second paragraph, I think it's just a Scrivener's error. A public office is a trust created by the confidence, and it looks like it's been stricken, in which the public places. I think V needs to be left in. By the confidence
Yes, it does.
In the, I think needs to be included, right?
It does.
Okay, and that's just a scrivener's error, that's nothing major. Then for BCA, if you'll scroll down to the bottom of this policy, and the reason I'm asking questions is I'm looking at when these were initially adopted in 72, I'm looking at the number of times they've been revised. And so if we're revising again, then I want to make sure that I'm clear on why we're revising. In BCA, there's mention of acting in official capacity, but we may not receive anything of value. So I'm wondering if we need to, let me see which, okay, that's toward the bottom. That's page 2 of 3. Toward the bottom of that page, acting in an official capacity may not receive anything of value for speaking before a public or private group. Well, if you're given a plaque or something like that, is that considered value? And I'm asking because this is something new that's been inserted. It's not, I guess I need to find out what exactly is termed of value. And there's mention of an employee may not accept a meal if everyone else may accept a meal if everyone else gets the same. And I know oftentimes we're invited, you know, to meet with people and learn more about their services. So I'm thinking that that's acceptable because it's been done before. So that I think I'm clear on. But I want to find out what is there a monetary amount given to value, or is that just considered monetary? And then just to get to all my questions, reimbursement can be received if the expenses are reasonable as to time and manner. What do we consider reasonable, or is that just should that just be common sense? You know,
You definitely have the privilege of specifying if you want to make it more clear.
yeah. Do we need to specify, or is that just a common sense thing? I'm asking because this is part of our policy now, so we need to be very careful to make sure we're not violating policy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Dr. Koch Parker. No, you're fine.
At one time,
It's
it
okay.
was $25, period. And I'm not having,
to the value for speaking?
in regard to the value, no, for the meal.
I believe that's state ethics
Right.
defines what that is. So we might, I agree that we should probably refer back to,
Right.
in the policy, refer back to either what state ethics requires or be specific. So there's no ambiguity there.
So with regard to anything of value for speaking or anything like that, that would still be considered a $25 cap then? Would that be safe to
There
assume?
was not a stipulation
Pressure
that I can recall, and we revised some of these policies in 2003, I believe.
Well,
There was
Yeah,
not,
the last time was,
I
for
think
this one.
staff should look at what state ethics says on, I think they have clarity on what
That I can check.
that
Okay.
is.
Chair, I think that the
Yes.
reasonable element in this case is referring to, you know, if you're called to a place where it's a hotel stay or things that require expenses, that reasonable mean within what the reasonable person doctrine would state as it relates to that. I don't know if there's any particular ethics on those.
Well, we'll let staff come back with what that should be.
Yeah, and actually, you can probably disregard, because the statute is listed here. The statute it references, so maybe I need to look at the statute, because it actually does reference the statute to which it references, so I guess that you have it listed here just to make sure that it's, you know, so maybe I can see what that statute is, and maybe the statute has more details. Just because it's now a policy, so if we violate it, that's going to be a problem. Okay, that's all.
Mr. Chair, I appreciate also that the other item here on a board member will actually annually file a statement of economic interest, just as a thank you to the district for always reminding that about 15 times, so we appreciate that.
You're welcome. Is that in yoga pants?
You're good?
Other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
BD?
Mhm.
Policy BD. Yeah, there are a couple of questions I have here. One of them says that no officer may succeed himself in the same position more than once. Got that. So, this is toward the bottom of the page. Each officer will be eligible for only 2 consecutive terms in the same office. Got that. But may again be elected to an office after a long-term break in service. What does that mean? Does that mean that I know that after you've served in the same capacity twice, you can't run for that office again. James can't be chair a 3rd time consecutively. Got that. However, is this saying that if he wanted to run for secretary, hypothetically speaking, that he has to have a long-term break in service, or is it just for that office? I need clarification for that first.
And that is in current policy. That isn't a change.
But I think that what she's asking is,
Yeah,
though,
I'm just
is we
asking for
need to be
clar- I
clear
just
about
don't- I
what
just-
that is.
I need to understand what it means. What I read it to believe is that you can't serve consecutively in the same
In the same
office.
office.
However, if you want to run for another office, that's fine. You just have a long-term break in service after serving in the same capacity. Do we need to define what long-term service is, or is that just a given? Is that just common sense, you think? I'm asking for an opinion, I'm not giving mine.
I think it would be
I'll chime in. I
sufficient
think
to
it
just
should be
have a break-in
clarified.
service.
I'm sorry?
A break-in service.
Yeah.
A break in service.
break-in-
A break in
break-in
service.
service.
which
That would make
means-
sense.
Okay.
And then also just a little more clarity to that same point about, we're talking about same office and office, maybe
Okay.
just being a little bit clear, which, by the way, I'm not interested in any other positions for a while. I'm happy to
But a
roll
break-
back in the background. I appreciate the example, but
Oh, sure, put you on the hot spot, but a break in service makes sense to me. I got a break in service.
And it does say, again, can be elected to an office, that is any office.
so that means.
Say that again, I'm sorry. Maybe elected to an office
But
after,
maybe,
after a
again,
break
be
in.
elected to an office, and so that
Yeah.
sounds like any office.
Yeah, it sounds like it's saying after you've served in the same capacity twice, that you can't run for anything else, and that's not my understanding. It's
No,
just
no, no,
that,
it's saying after you've served in the same capacity twice, you take a break, and then you can do any office.
a break in, gotcha. Oh, I got you. You're adding language for clarity. Makes sense. Also, it says elected officers will take their positions immediately, yada, 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 got that. Each officer will serve for a 2-year term. I'm not okay with that. I'm not sure where it came from, but I'd
Just
love,
the
to- but I'd love
recommendation.
some clarification on that.
Right, that one is just a recommendation from the School Boards Association, but if it's the board's pleasure, we can keep it at 1 year.
That's just my opinion. There's 7 of us up here, so that's just my opinion. I'm not okay with that.
I'm also not okay with it. And I appreciate Ms. Mackey paying attention to the details on that. I was not aware that that was in there until I looked at it tonight, but I'm not okay with that being in there. So I'd like to have that stricken.
I agree.
Yeah, and the obvious for that one is if we're talking about swearing in board members annually, then, but they're serving a 2-year terms, and one of those would be redundant, but we're talking about moving on, so I'm gonna move on.
Can we take out the part about swearing at board members, Ms. Mackey?
Did I say swearing out?
No.
Okay.
I was asking.
Okay. No, you're stuck. Okay, and I think I was okay with BDR. Let me just make sure. I tried to write everything down so I wouldn't forget. I don't think I had a question about BDR. If so, may I, if I remember what I was going to ask, may I come back to it? But I don't think I have anything on that. I can't find it.
All right, board members, other questions?
And in general, each time that, I noticed that family, the description of family is stricken the second time it's mentioned, and that's just because it's redundant, because that's like in most of the documents. Good deal. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Just want to make sure we're clear.
Board members, other questions? Yes?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to ask y'all a question then.
Okay.
So when we get to the next agenda item, we'll discuss. But because we had a number of items and some clarification, I want y'all to think about, do we want to bring this up for non-voting again one more time, just to make sure that we're comfortable with all the changes? And then we can vote on it at the next meeting as opposed to having it being voted on at the, does what I'm asking make sense? Give one more reading without a vote. That way everybody has time to be sure we're all clear and don't have further questions after the changes.
I'm fine with
I
that.
think because of the number of changes, that would probably be the most prudent way to go about it. Okay.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments?
Thank you, Dr. Franklin.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, next on our agenda then, we have our report on summer programs. Dr. Ham.
Yeah, this is the
Good evening. Chairman Manning, school board members, Dr. Ham. We are pleased to share a preview of summer activities for Richland 2 students and staff with you tonight. You have 3 attachments in board docs under summer programs that I will reference. The first is a 13-page document on summer activities and programs with over 135 exciting summer opportunities for our students. The second is a list of wraparound summer services that build constructive relationships and support among our students and their families. The third attachment is a sampling of summer professional learning opportunities for staff members to hone their craft and build capacity. We will start with programs for our students. For elementary students, we continue our successful district summer reading camp through the state's Read to Succeed legislation. We have expanded this camp to not only serve third graders, but identified first and second graders as well, thanks to the support of the United Way. The pictures that you see here are from the camp's Family Information Night last week at North Springs Elementary School, where we had over 325 students and parents in attendance. We'd also like to highlight, since intervention is key, our Kinder College at the elementary level this year for our Title I schools. This camp will focus on intensive, systematic instruction for identified kindergarten students who need early interventions and support in the area of reading. And again, this is the first time this summer. In our middle schools, community partnerships abound, starting with the Youth Development Camp, a leadership camp sponsored by the Urban League. In addition, the Richland County Sheriff's Department is sponsoring a trio of summer camps for middle schoolers around themes this summer, from character education to forensic science. Our high school students have many opportunities for college and career summer experiences, some of which are sponsored by CAT and Gear Up district grants. These grants make it possible for Richland II students to pursue their passions in writing, business, technology, entrepreneurship, and STEM, some of which are on the campuses of Columbia College, College of Charleston, and Clemson University. We were notified on Friday through our partnership with Midlands Technical College of the ability to expand the A+ Network Camp already being offered to District CAT grant students. This will now make the 2-week camp available to all district high school students, where they can build their own computers and take them home and prepare for A+ networking licensure. That's the licensure which many IT technicians hold. So we're excited about that opportunity. STEM activities continue to be an emphasis in summer activities at elementary, middle, and high school levels in the district. And as you see, we have over 135 activities this summer for our students. You also have a document entitled Wraparound Services. Richland II provides wraparound services for students and families through the W.R. Rogers Center, ESOL Summer Programs, Family Intervention Services, Special Education Summer Support Services, and a summer food program. Our summer food program will operate in at least 16 sites in the district this summer. The number of community sites for the program is expanding, and with it, the partnership between Sodexo's food truck and Richland Library's Learn Freely bus. We are expanding from 1 to 3 community sites that will operate 4 days a week for 6 weeks. A 4th site was recently added and will operate for 2 weeks. Martha Jones, Executive Director for Strategic Partnerships, Abby Cobb, Lead District Social Worker, and Jack Carter are coordinating these efforts. We will share a short clip from last year's program with you tonight.
Today is the first day of our summer food program, and we are at Hunter's Way Apartment Complex, and we're just trying to make sure that we can help the kids who might need a little bit of help during the summer to make sure that they are getting the food that they need.
This particular event today is a weekly event that will happen throughout the summer to bring food to children that are children in our schools possibly, but maybe not, and to also have them be able to have access to books.
Access to books is provided through the resources of the Richland County Library.
Well, basically we are out here showcasing our brand new Richland Library bus, and we are here just to have some outreach with the youth allow them to have some learning time with reading and use the Wi-Fi. They can play the Nintendo Wii U. We have different games. We do story times, puppet shows. We want them to learn, and we want them to have fun this summer. Learning is very, very important in the Richland Library community. We just want our kids and our community to know that we are here for them. And it's so important to come out to a community like this who don't necessarily have the access to make it out to other locations. So since they can't make it out to the locations, we bring the location to them.
Lunch is provided by Sodexo.
The meals that we're providing here, they meet all the guidelines, the state guidelines, the grains, the fruits, the vegetables, the dairy. Whereas instead of a student possibly sitting at home, maybe eating Cheetos and watching TV, we're providing them all the balanced plate that they need to have a nutritious meal.
Sodexo is a partner of Global Proportions, but it's the local interactions that motivates their workers.
What really is exciting is to see the involvement from our staff that is excited to serve the students. We have a lot of people that want to come work with our summer program, and then to partner with the library truck brings out more students so we can have more staff work with the kids.
Well, if you look at your tables, we have an opportunity for you. You should have a brochure that looks like this, inviting you to volunteer this summer at the program's community sites. We would love for you to be part of this rewarding program if your schedule permits. So you have the contact information there for you. Next, we'll move on to summer professional learning. That's the third part of tonight's presentation. We have excellent summer professional learning opportunities based on identified district priorities and needs. As you can see, there are multiple opportunities through the summer with just the 3 summer institutes alone. If you'll notice the Midlands Technology Summit, we have 600 already registered and are expecting 800. And our new to 2 is always a successful seminar workshop series. As you can see, again, there are multiple opportunities, and you have a sampling of broader opportunities and session topics in an attachment. Something we've added this summer is an Instructional Leadership Institute for our administrators, as you'll see on June 13th and 14th. Leadership teams from all of our schools will kick off year-long professional development on building an effective district data culture and protocols for the use of data, whereby improving their instructional leadership skills. And we are excited for this opportunity, which will be a pilot for our State Department of Education. As you can see, the learning never stops in Richland too, with engaging opportunities for students and adults throughout the summer. Any questions?
Thank you so much for sharing that information. And under the guise of actually sharing with others, I know that staff members and all will know how to find out about professional learning opportunities. They'll know how to do that.
Yes.
How can I share with parents the summer programs? And oftentimes parents are looking for summer programs. They don't know how to. How can I share that just so I can share with
what
people?
What we do is we create Google Docs to have schools give us their information. We share those with Libby Roof, and she posts those on a Pinterest page, on the district Pinterest page for us. Also, Kelly Johnson also has those, so that as she works with parents, and we have a large parent gathering tomorrow night here, we will be able to share those there too.
Okay, so on the district's website?
Pinterest, through Pinterest.
We have
I'll figure out how to make it work.
We
just
have
so I
a
can share with other people.
community events Pinterest board, which is actually our most popular Pinterest board.
Yes, ma'am.
And we've been sending that out in the UN2 parent newsletter. That's for the ones, the camps that are open to all students. A lot of the camps at the schools are just to the schools there, and so the schools have been getting that information out.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is first recommend to the parents to check at their school, and they should have information. The schools put information in their blogs and websites. But then if any camps that our schools are having are open to students outside of their own schools, we will have information on our community events Pinterest board, which you don't have to be a follower or
I
be
was gonna
there.
ask you if you gotta have Pinterest, because I don't like Pinterest. So you have to be able to
No,
have, you have to
no,
have
it's
a
you
Pinterest
just.
account, or is
you-
it just a screenshot
You
of a
just go,
page?
if you go to our website and you click on the Pinterest link, you just click on there and you can, community events board is easy to
Okay, cool.
access.
I can do
And then
do
if they
that.
have if they get the UN2 newsletter, which if our parents all have emails, they get that newsletter.
Okay.
There's an article in there just about every week that we send out the newsletter that's been promoting that as well.
Okay.
Okay?
Actually, Mr. Manning,
Okay,
that was from a suggestion from you where we started that a few years
good
ago.
to know.
Thank you.
And we also tweet, and
I can
it's a regular tweet
That's
in
fine,
Facebook.
I can share
Yeah,
those
so,
then. Cool.
and if they have any trouble finding it, we have a contact us.
And it's
on-
just for me, yeah, I just want to know how we can
sure.
tell, I know that you, how we can share too, and that's
Yeah,
just,
just-
you already got the social media platforms covered, it's just a matter of
Yeah.
sharing those platforms.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it, no problem.
All right.
that
Second
help?
question, yeah, the summer,
Go ahead.
one more, the summer feeding programs, this is awesome. I mean, I think even we were talking about that last year, but PR is always my thing. How do we make sure that people who need the services are aware of them, number one, and I think we may have that covered, but we probably need to share. I don't know how we can share that in the community and let people know that, because we get burned for, not being sensitive with
Right.
regard to feeding families who need the services. And we do provide the services, so what are we doing to share that in the community?
That's what
So
Mr.
that, because,
Carter
like
said.
Richland One, they laud their efforts to make sure that no child goes hungry in the
Right.
summer. So how can we do, not a better job, because that would imply that you're doing a bad job, and I'm not saying that at all. What more can we do to make sure that we are sharing in the community, that we do feed families in the summer who need that assistance?
The three sites that we go to, which is Hunter's Way Apartments, Hunt Club Trailer Park, and Freebay Mobile Park. We have site coordinators for each one of those places, and we have an overall social worker who coordinates all those to make sure that the families in those areas are aware that we're going to be in there. At the school level sites, we let the entire community around the school know, because technically every site's an open site. So you might have a feeding going on at Condor, but an 18-year-old might walk in. So we do it on an area basis.
Okay.
So we do as much as we can to advertise it to everybody in the community. Schools do a pretty good job, especially if they're having like Forest Lake Summer Camp or North Springs Summer Camp. All those camps get the words out to the parents.
Okay.
So this costs the students nothing. We do it all based on the free and reduced rate for that particular area.
Okay.
And so Sodexo records the meals, puts in for federal reimbursement, and it's absolutely free to the families.
Okay, I don't know if newspapers, do they charge if we run an ad in the paper or things like that? Is there a fee for that, or is that considered a community thing? I'm just trying to think of outside the schools, how we can let the community know that we're doing that. Because it sounds to me like the people who need the services are being advised, but I'm trying to think too about PR and how we can let the community know that we're doing
I
that.
can work with Libby to
We
make sure.
have already sent a news release out
Okay.
to our media. In fact, I think Ish did that today as well, so we'll continue to send that out. Also, I just made a note that once school is over and we are ready to start, I will do a call out to all our families. And a lot of times I'll ask them to help us spread the word. It'll stay in our
That's all I
UN2
want. So the
newsletter.
community is aware. 'Cause,
Yeah.
So the community.
Yeah.
I will say last year,
I think, and if I can just, 1 second, Ms. Shad, I know I got you too, but Libby, do you understand that we've advertised this or sent it to the newspapers before, but the media just hasn't picked up on it like maybe they have with some of our neighboring districts?
They'll pick it up. It just may run in a very small blurb or in an area with lots of lists. So,
we had two WIS reporters at the same time at Hunter's Way doing two separate but related stories. And those ran that night on the 6 and 7 o'clock news.
but we'll also do
that's
some
just-
follow-up calls with the media. We'll see what we can do to
That would be helpful.
try to get.
So the community is aware.
We'll do another push out when we get a little bit closer to the start date and see what we can do to draw some more attention to it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shad?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The summer food program, what is the 2-week period and the fourth site that we have online now?
I can answer that too.
Do you have that?
Yeah.
It will be in Blythewood. We
It's
just confirmed that.
at Palmetto Palms, yeah. Anyway, it's run by Round Top Church, and that's why it's 2 weeks. the Round Top Church is running that site as a feeding site.
But you're asking which 2 weeks.
And also which 2 weeks.
I don't have that, but we can get that.
We can get that back to you.
And can put it on Pinterest and all that. The 12th and the 19th?
Yeah.
Because that has actually just been confirmed.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I
Yeah,
know
we
this
just
was after
added
the
that one. And
report.
actually, that
We'll check on that.
particular neighborhood is actually split between Richland 1 and Richland 2, so the front part's in Richland 2, the back part's in Richland 1, but they're all kids, so if they come, we're gonna feed them.
Absolutely. So is that our third church then? Because I'm looking at, we had 2 churches, 3 community
We have
sites.
other churches that are involved. I'd have to get you a complete list of which ones are church-related. A lot of them are based around the school summer programs. TriDAC, for instance, at Richland Northeast, we actually consider that a summer feeding site.
Well, I'll echo again what you said, that this is free to the child.
Yes, sir.
And there's federal reimbursement
Total
as long as it lasts.
And it's technically 18 and under, but we don't ask how old you are.
Exactly. I love that. The ready to read, are we still, thanks, Mr. Carter, are we still accepting books and everything?
We will always accept.
Very good,
So, yeah.
very good. I just wanted to point that out. We're still accepting.
In your report, we have 14,000 books.
14,454 books this year, and last year we collected 10,000. We gave every child 2 books last year. This year we're giving every child 3 books.
So we're excited.
Growing this year. But yes, we will take books year-round.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jones. Thank you.
Summer slide.
Absolutely.
Board members, other questions or comments?
One other addition on the food service, the summer food program. The Palmetto Palms is June 19th through the 22nd, June 26th through the 29th. The flyer for that lists all the locations is posted, not that one. There's a different one. There's actually a different one that's posted on the homepage of our website that lists every location.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. For the school sites, are you all seeking volunteers as well, or that's handled just because with the staff that's there?
That's generally handled by the school staff, but I'm
Okay.
sure they would not turn down a volunteer.
And the reason I ask is because we probably need to list those school sites as well, not just the community ones.
We can give you all those.
Thank you.
I'll
Yeah,
send y'all the
can-
link right now to the flyer that lists all the sites.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman, would you mind putting on our board calendar these dates? So.
And we will
if-
have social workers at every one of our sites working, doing activities with the kids. And Abby Cobb is leading that charge, and Melissa Bunch from Westwood is actually the coordinator for the summer.
I do have did you have a question? Go ahead.
Just one quick question. What kind of business partnerships have we had in related to these summer programs?
Are you talking about the camps and activities in schools,
Yeah,
or are you talking?
Both. I mean, for the reading to the food, I know what Sodexo is doing that, we're getting federal reimbursements, but as it relates to other business, our business partners coming out and having some involvement in that, have we had anything like
We
that?
mentioned some of them, like Urban League and the Richland County Sheriff's Department. The United Way has been a wonderful partner and enabled us to do many things that we otherwise would not be able to do. Those are some of our strongest partners that we have worked with. We mentioned that a lot of the high school camps in particular are funded through our district Gear Up and CAT grants. There are other partnerships that we have, like with Midlands Tech we mentioned, and things like that. But those are our strongest partners.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I have one. I know in the past, we had some funds to help pay teachers, right? Because the reality is, we pay teachers to be here during the school year, even though they get paid all year, but it's for the school year. So they take a smaller paycheck to make it last throughout the year. So a lot of times they're coming of their own, on their own free time. And I don't think I think people think we pay y'all like all year when we don't, right, teachers? Y'all just volunteer your time to come over the summer. So we used to have some funds to kind of help with that. Do we have any left, or do we suck it all dry?
We don't have specific funds that we pay teachers to attend professional development itself, such as a workshop. We don't have funds for that specifically. I can't tell you, it's been several years, but teachers do receive renewal credits for attendance at all summer professional development.
Right, yeah, I know that they have to get some renewal credits, and I know that they do it because they love what they do, and they're constantly sponges wanting to soak up more information. I just hate that, we don't have funds available any longer to, help them out when they could be doing other things, or they're taking their time to do work function. There's not many professions people are just giving their time without expecting some sort of reimbursement, and our teachers are one that somehow we just expect them to do that. So it's not a district issue, I understand it's a budget issue and other things, but anyways, thanks for answering the question. So,
any other questions?
Other questions, board members? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We tabled item 11.1, so we are now to item 12.1, our agenda items. Dr. Ham.
Mr. Chairman, at the next meeting, we will have special recognitions again, another legislative update. We'll bring back a second reading, but not for approval of those policies we discussed tonight. And the big item really is to have a proposal for a strategic plan for your review.
All right, board members, other items you'd like to see on this or future agendas? All right. We next have our second public participation. Again, there's no one signed up, but if you'd like to do so, please do so now. All right. And we will now have our board and superintendent comments. I'll start at my left and move to my right. Dr. Elkins Johnson.
Just want to say thank you to Marsha Mosley for giving us that inspirational moment. Of course, congratulations to all of those who won awards this evening, and also congratulations to Jamie Shad on the fatherhood. I appreciate all that you do for our youth, because not only do you talk the talk, you walk the walk, so thank you.
All right, Ms. Agostini.
I also want to congratulate all those that were recognized this evening, and also I'm looking forward to all the celebrations that we'll be participating in the next week and a half with all of our graduations and award ceremonies.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mackey.
To echo reiterate the sentiments of my board members and all of the accolades and ceremonies that Dr. Ham, of course, will mention name by name. But as always, thank you for being here. It's late. Most of your day starts very early, and I appreciate your time and all that you do to make this work. Bless you.
All right, Mr. Plank.
Thanks to all the presentations tonight. Very thorough as always, and appreciate that. I grew up in a military household. Grew up with a father as a fighter pilot. We live closely to McIntyre and Shaw, and of course Fort Jackson. And one of the things that I grew up hearing my father say many, many times is when you hear that roar of that F-16 or the helicopters that are going by, that's the sound of freedom. Freedom comes at a cost. We've seen that in our wars. We see that today as we battle terrorism. With Memorial Day coming up this weekend, I would encourage all of us to take that moment on that Monday and remember those who have fallen, so that we have the freedom, we have the strong national pride that we have, all the way down to the local governance in our schools. And so I appreciated the color guard for being here this morning, or this at the beginning of our meeting, and appreciate all that you do, and enjoy the long weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Plank. Dr. Caution Parker.
Being an Army brat, I completely agree with you, Craig. Congratulations to all the award and recognition recipients this evening. That summer, the summer food program is just outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
It is really outstanding. And I do know that I am going to volunteer and serve or do something this summer, but it's just, I just want to let you all know that that's phenomenal, Jack. And congrats also to Jamie. Really appreciate that. That's wonderful. That's very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Shad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I apologize for the length, but I'm going to talk very fast. Congratulations to all those who were recognized, but especially the Ridgeview students, who I believe every last one is part of the Scholars Academy. I've gone over there and spoken to several times. I don't know why they keep asking me to come back, but they do. But I would just direct everybody's attention to that WLTX story that Ms. Ruth talked about. They do need to raise money. They are going on this national trip in June. And my understanding is that they need $5,000, so I would encourage people to dig deep and help our kids out. Also, congratulations to the class of 2017 graduates. I know it was a great ride for them, very rewarding. The parents are going to be very proud, as we are up here, and administration. Thanks, I don't know why they chose me, but thanks to Ms. Butler and Ms. Smith of Joseph Keels, who invited me to speak tomorrow morning to their 5th grade promotion ceremony. And a little quick plug, Dr. Davis and I serve on the planning committee for the South Carolina Fatherhood and Male Achievement Conference, which is going to be here at R2I2 on August 12th. The keynote speaker is Alan Houston. It's for our 7th through 12th grade boys, as well as all men, so we encourage everyone to go to the site. Patrick Patterson is the head of that. And thanks to Ms. Ruth for making me cry a little bit, for recognizing me, and thanks to all for your kind words. And lastly, congratulations to Dr. Elkins Johnson, who received the Women in Education Award from Iota Omicron Sigma chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho recently. Well deserved. Thank you.
Can you say that 3 times fast?
No.
Dr. Ham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to first of all lead with an opportunity for teachers who are interested in working here in Richland too. We're going to have a pop-up career fair tomorrow. That's May 24th from 4 to 7 o'clock. We still have openings, and we would be really excited to have people coming and visiting and seeing what a great place Richland 2 is to work. This one is going to be held at the at the community room that's right next to the J.C. Penney building. So it's not at this location, it'll be at that location. And no appointment is necessary, so if you're interested in teaching in Richland 2, please join us. Parents, Nancy already mentioned, we're having a parent education program tomorrow night. It is from 6 to 8. It will be right here. And the focus is going to be on how parents can prevent the summer slide. We know over the summer a lot of students lose academic ground. This is an opportunity to find out how you can help your kids continue on their path of progress even during the summer. And then finally, coming back to this issue of nutritious meals, I just want to remind everybody that that's available, and that anybody 18 years or under, we've got a meal for you if you need one. Finally, have a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend.
All right. Well, I've prepared a long speech, so y'all sit back. I'm just kidding. Thank y'all very much. I attended an interesting conference today. It was a summit on cybersecurity, and I think that's something that we see a lot of. This is an area where we need a lot of talent. I heard from folks that were from SCANA, their cybersecurity person. You know, Governor McMaster just signed in a new infrastructure program for cybersecurity. We had the NSA there, and what I thought was interesting was when I heard from folks like the SCANA cybersecurity individual, and I heard from the NSA, and I heard from others, they're actually starting now in middle school to introduce students to these opportunities. They know it's going to take a long time to develop the talent that's necessary in order to provide the pool of workers that we need in these areas. And they're doing a lot. They've been working with Claflin. They mentioned a few other HBCUs and other South Carolina, Clemson and others in the state. It sounds like Greenville and Charleston are doing quite a bit in this area, but I really look forward to our school district hopefully getting more involved in some of these opportunities. These are high-paying jobs, ones that are very necessary, and certainly goes beyond just the protection of our personal information. It goes into the protection of our water supplies and our infrastructure and other critical functions. So, Mr. Albersi, you got a lot of opportunity there to help expand this. But I think it's critical as we talk a lot about STEM and those other areas that we get, that we find those opportunities for our folks and expose them to those career options out there. So So anyways, kind of exciting stuff if you're a cyber geek like me. So I appreciate everybody's time. I think we, I want to thank Ms. Sherman. So she developed these pins. So I've been asking for school board members, I always see other, because, we always measure ourselves by the Joneses. So some of the other elected officials I see, they always have these big pins. And I know, like, if they're a legislator or they're a Richland County Council person or whatever it may be, and I say, I want us to be recognized, when we're walking down the street. So Ms. Sherman designed these pins. Mr. Plank funded the diamonds on them. So I appreciate that, Mr. Plank. We sent the bill to your office. You just don't know it yet. But I think they look great. So take an opportunity. If you want to come, we'll let you come take a close look at them. But anyways, Ms. Sherman, thank you for your work on these. We really appreciate it. And just another point of pride for all of us in the public. These didn't cost much, y'all, so the newspaper don't worry about that. But Monica? Yeah. Dr. Elkins?
I just wanted to say I forgot Dr. Shad, or Mr. Shad, recognized me, and also Ms. Sherman sent it out, and not only did I receive that award, Dr. Ham and Dr. Cautious Parker, so I wanted to make sure that you understand that the three of us received that award for women in education, and Ms. Sherman sent that out to everyone, I think about a week ago. So I'm not sure if Mrs. Shedd was aware of that, but thank you. But I wanted to make sure that they were a part of that also.
That's right. That's why I call this the kumbaya part of our meeting. We just get to say whatever we want. All right, well, I think we're going to have a second executive session tonight, so if I can have a motion for that, please. To discuss matters of contractual matters for the...
That's okay.
Mr. Secretary, can I get the motion from you, please?
Recess and convene an executive session for the contractual matters that we were talking about earlier.
For the charter school.
Charter school, yes, thank you.
Okay. If y'all understood that, can I get a second?
Second.
All right. Ms. Mackey seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll have the vote. Can we do hand votes? Mr. Plank. All right, unanimous. We'll now convene to our second executive session.